In the gardens, fragrant with varieties of flowers, birds chirped and bees hummed, surrounded by professional singers. Subari Muni's house was simply provided with valuable beds, seats, ornaments, and arrangements for bathing, and there were varieties of sandalwood creams, flower garlands, and palatable dishes. Then, thus surrounded by opulent paraphernalia, the Muni engaged in family affairs with his numerous wives. Anybody want that? Huh? Be careful what mantras you chant. Huh? Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Subari Muni was a great yogi. Yogic perfection makes available 8 material opulences: Anima, Lagima, Mahima, Prapti, Palacha, Shitva, Vashitva, and Kandalaya Yat. Subari Muni exhibited super excellence in material enjoyment by dint of his yogic perfection. The word Kalavrita means expert in chanting mantras. As material opulences can be achieved by ordinary material means, can also be achieved by subtle means through mantras. By chanting mantras, Subari Muni arranged for material opulence, but this was not perfection in life, as will be seen. Subari Muni became very dissatisfied with material opulence and thus left everything and re-entered the forest in the Vanaprastha order and achieved final success. Those who are not Atma Tattvavit, who do not know the spiritual value of life, can be satisfied with external material opulences, but those who are Atma Tattvavit are not inspired by material opulence. This is the instruction we can derive from the life and activities of Subari Muni. Om Magyana Timirandasya Gnandina Shalakaya Chaksura Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sajjajatam Sahagana Raguna Tanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarani Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gora Tvishe Namaha Panchatatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishadi Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. So should we go a little bit over the history of how this came about? First is a history of Maharaj Ikshvaku, who became renounced and left. So after the father's disappearance, Vikukshi returned to the country and became the king, ruling the planet Earth and performing various sacrifices to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vakuksi later became celebrated as Suvada. The son of that was Puranjaya, who is also known as Indra Vaha and sometimes as Kakukshta. Please hear how he received different names for different activities. Formerly there was devastating war between the demigods and the demons. The demigods, having been defeated, accepted Puranjaya as their assistant and thus conquered the demons. Therefore, this hero is known as Puranjaya, he who conquered the residents of the demons. Puranjaya agreed to kill the demons on the condition that Indra would be his carrier. Because of pride, Indra could not accept this proposal, but later, by the order of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Indra did accept it and became a great bull carrier for Puranjaya. Very interesting people, the demigods, and the heroes. The different attempts, like Govardhan Hill, was just to destroy Indra's pride. Of course, to leave behind an amazing pastime for us, but well protected by armor and desiring to fight, Puranjaya took up a transcendental bow and very sharp arrows, and while being highly praised by the demigods, he got up on the back of the bull Indra and sat on its hump. Thus he is known as Kakukshta. Being empowered by Lord Vishnu, who is the super soul and supreme person, Puranjaya sat on the great bull and is therefore known as Indra Vaha. Surrounded by the demigods, he attacked the residents of the demons in the west. Generally only Shiva rides a bull, nobody else is supposed to. But there was a fierce battle between the demons and Puranjaya. Indeed, it was so fierce that when one hears about it, one's hairs stand on end. All the demons bold enough to come before Puranjaya were immediately sent to the residence of Yamaraj by his arrows. To save themselves from the blazing arrows of Indravaha, which resembled the flames of devastation at the end of the millennium, the demons who remained when the rest of the army was killed fled quickly home. After conquering the enemy, the saintly king Puranjaya gave everything, including the enemy's riches and wives, to Indra, who carries a thunderbolt. For this he is celebrated as Puranjaya. Thus Puranjaya is known by different names because of different activities. His son was named Anena, his son was Prithu, and Prithu's son was Vishwagandhi. Vishwagandhi's son was Chandra, and Chandra's son was Yuva Vashwa. The sons of him were Sharbata, who built a township. There's this dynasty history, so we might not think it's very spiritual. But to satisfy the sage Uttanka, the greatly powerful Kuvalashwa killed a demon named Dandu. He did this with the assistance of his 21,000 sons. You can see how insignificant we are when we see these numbers and the things that they did. Because, we're thinking everything's so advanced now with all these drones and different kinds of weapons. And for this reason, Kuvalaya Lashva is celebrated as Dandumara, the killer of Dandu. All but 3 of his sons, however, were burned to ashes by the fire emanating from Dandu's mouth. The remaining sons were Dridashva, Kapilashva, and Bhadrashva. Then they had Har Yashva, whose son was Nikumba. 21,000 he could burn just from the fire from his mouth. So the demons were much more powerful, but their mentality is the same nowadays. They're not so powerful, but they have the same mentality. They just want to enjoy. They don't believe in the Supreme Lord. They believe in their own hard work, their own, whatever they think they're doing to get their intelligence, their hard work. So we have many more dynasties. And their different activities. One king went, the sages were doing things for him. Being thirsty, the king entered the arena of the sacrifice, and when he saw all the Brahmins lying down, he personally drank the sanctified water meant to be drunk by his wife. He's trying to have a child. Purport. Yajnas performed by Brahmanas, according to Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, are so potent that the sanctifying of water by Vedic mantras can bring about the desired result. In this instance, the Brahmanas sanctified the water so that the king's wife might drink it in the yajna, but by providence the king himself, who went there at night, being thirsty, drank the water. When the Brahmanas got up from bed and saw the water pot empty, they inquired who had done this work of drinking the water meant for begetting a child. When the Brahmanas came to understand that the king, inspired by Supreme Controller, had drunk the water, they said, "Alas, the power of providence is real power. No one can counteract the power of the Supreme." In this way they offered their respectful obeisances to the Lord. In course of time, a son with all good symptoms, a powerful king, came forth from the lower right side of King Yuvanashwa's abdomen. The baby cried so much for breast milk that all the Brahmanas were very unhappy. "Who will take care of this baby?" they said. Then Indra, who was worshipped in the yajna, came and solaced the baby. "Do not cry," he said. Put his finger in the baby's mouth and said, "You may drink." You believe all this? No. That's the difference. The devotees will believe it. They'll believe, the materialists will believe in so many things, but this they'll say is mythology. But this is nothing compared to what they say is fact, about the universe or about, men coming from apes and all this stuff. It's much more crazy than this. This makes sense, actually. And it's meant that we can see our position, that there are such superior people in the universe. I mean, nowadays most people can't even accept anybody as superior to themselves. They avoid anybody who is. We should be looking for people superior so we can learn from them. So the father of the baby was blessed by the Brahmanas. He did not fall victim to death. After this, he performed severe austerities and achieved perfection at that very spot. Mandata, his son, was the cause of fear for Ravana and other thieves and rogues who caused anxiety. Because they feared him, the son of Yuvanashwa was known as Trasadashu. The name was given by Indra. By the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Yuvanashwa was so powerful that when he became emperor, he ruled the entire world, consisting of 7 islands, without any second ruler. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not different from the auspicious results of great sacrifices, such as the ingredients of the sacrifice, the chanting of the Vedic mantras, the regulated principles, the performer, the priest, the result of the sacrifice, the arena of sacrifice, and the time. Knowing the principles of self-realization, Mandata worshipped that transcendently situated Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, who comprises all the demigods, who also gave immense charity to the Brahmanas, and he performed yajna to worship the Lord. At all places from where the sun rises on the horizon, shining brilliantly to where the sun sets, are known as the possessions of the celebrated Mandata, son of Yuvaneshwar. He had 3 sons from Bindumati, the daughter of Shashabindu. These were Purukutsa, Ambarisha, and Muchakunda, a great mystic yogi. These 3 brothers had 50 sisters who all accepted the great sage Subari as their husband. Now we're getting into what's going on here. Subari was engaged in austerity deep in the water of the river Yamuna. When he saw a pair of fish engaged in sexual affairs, thus he perceived the pleasure of sex life, and induced by the desire, he went to King Mandata and begged for one of the king's daughters. In response, the king said, "O Brahman, any of my daughters may accept any husband according to her personal selection." Purport. This is the beginning of the story of Subari Rishi. According to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Mandata was the king of Mathura, and Subari Muni was engaged in austerity while submerged deep within the river Yamuna. When the Rishi felt sexual desire, he emerged from the river and went to King Mandata to ask that one of the king's daughters become his wife. So he was civilized. Subari thought, "I am now feeble because of old age. My hair has become gray, my skin is dark, and my head always trembles. Besides that, I'm a yogi. Therefore, women do not like me. Since the king has thus rejected me, I shall reform my body in such a way as to be desirable even to celebrated women, celestial women. What to speak of the daughters of worldly kings." So much trouble just to become attractive to women. See? There's some tapasya some people do, and even the heavenly women will come running. Now they try to do it just by haircuts or something. Or beards, right? Isn't that the thing now? The beard will attract Krishna or all the women or something. So Subari Muni became young and beautiful. The messenger of the palace took him inside the residential quarters of the princesses, which were extremely opulent. All 50 princesses then accepted him as their husband, although he was only one man. We have several stories of, like Chaivana Muni, he did that also. That's why we have that Chavan Prash medicine. It's supposed to keep you young and fresh, immune to all diseases and everything. It's named after him. He got in trouble, well, the daughter got in trouble for a while with her father. Therefore, the princesses, being attracted by Subari Muni, gave up their sisterly relationship and quarreled amongst themselves, each one of them contending, "This man is suitable for me and not for you." In this way, there ensued a great disagreement. Then we get the verse we read. That Subari Muni, because he knew these mantras and he could chant them perfectly, so he could change bodies, which people are trying to do nowadays by anti-aging and what do they call it? They have so many, antioxidants or something. So many things are supposed to keep you young or make you young. But he could really do it. Actually get it young and such a beautiful body that 50 beautiful princesses wanted to marry him. So this goes on, this fighting, amongst families, Kali Yuga especially. But there were two demons, I forget their names, but they were descendants of Hiranyakasipu, and they did great tapasya. And so they got all the benedictions like Hiranyakasipu, and then they said we can only be killed by each other, because they were twins and they ate off the same plate. If you ask them a question, they both said the same thing, and they thought we'll never fight. They were just so united. So they were conquering the universe with this power. So demigods went to Lord Brahma, and he created sum total of all beauty, Trilotama, one Apsara. And then she went and she was dancing around in front of them. So one said, there is the wife for me. And the other one said, no, me. And they started fighting and they killed each other. So Krishna's always a little more intelligent. So then the purport says, and the story goes on, so you'll catch that in future days. But this is, in Subari Muni, this happened because he defended Garuda. He didn't like to see Garuda eating the fish, because he was underwater and he liked the fish. So that's why Garuda couldn't come there, and that's why Kaliya took shelter there, because he knew about this curse. But Krishna took care of everything. So this idea of, we should be trying to attract Krishna. Attract Krishna by, he liked to see tilak and kantimala, right? Many don't know what kantimala means, neck beads nowadays. No, I have, but it's like this. So that's different. It's supposed to be here. And Krishna likes to see those things. He likes to see somebody trying to serve him. Bhaktisiddhanta said, don't try to see Krishna. Don't demand, I want to see Krishna. But try to act in such a way that Krishna will come. He's attracted to bhakti, to someone trying to serve him. And then he gives intelligence that we can get to him. Tesham Satyati Yuktanam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. That he gives intelligence. We can't get it any other way, by scholarship or by tapasya, these kind of things. Although devotees do study scripture and they learn things, but it's automatic. Jnana Vairagya comes automatically when one is trying to serve Krishna. Extra. They're the sons of bhakti. So we don't need to make so much separate endeavor. The real endeavor should be how I can, surrender to Krishna and try to be a servant. Subari Muni realized that later, but we don't recommend that someone do so much tapasya to become a super sense enjoyer first, because not every big sense enjoyer realizes that his sense enjoyment is not going anywhere. And foolishness. Mostly they just get more and more lusty and they want more and more. They become greedy for more. And as Krishna says, the demons, they think that to enjoy the senses until the end of life is the goal of life. But the goal of life is, nowadays people, they don't, Prabhupada said we have to teach them that there is a goal first and then what that goal is, because most people, their goal is just to make it through the day, get some money, and eat, sleep, mate, and defend. It never changes. We can think that the modern day and everything is so much different than it was 5,000 years ago, So people are propagating, we have to change the teachings, Jesus, that's 2,000 years, that's now is different. But the modes of nature haven't changed, and the basic necessities of life don't change, and that's not only for humans, it's everybody. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Defending now, fearing, bhaya. Fear, they exploit the fear that people have, so we have a huge business of security, and see how many security guards we have around here, right? Everywhere. You can't get into many temples yet. Like here, you have to go through the security check and everything, because there's danger. It's Kali Yuga. And your house has to have so many locks on the doors. Some places they have 3 doors, with huge iron gates, the last one with 3 big padlocks on it or something, and it's on the 20th floor, and you can't get up there unless you have Spider-Man or something, or Hanuman, but still they're afraid. Bars on all the windows. So this seeking after sense enjoyment is foolishness. Try to be an enjoyer in the material world. But one can pray to Krishna for those things, but it's not very wise to do that. To ask, Krishna won't give us things. If he sees that someone's sincere, then he won't fulfill such stupid desires. He'll just he'll take away things, like he told Yudhisthira. When special benediction, I take away everything that might distract us from bhakti. If someone is able to use things, like sometimes we see devotees live opulently. Prabhupada, he really liked his room in Bombay, Anybody been there? Prabhupada, my Sarabi, nobody can do like this, He really liked it. Very, very beautiful, opulent room. But his life was still the same. He was just translating and eating little, everything completely regulated, giving classes, answering correspondence. He didn't just lay around and enjoy the room. But that's just Krishna's gift, It's not that Prabhupada didn't demand any of that kind of thing. He started out with nothing. The room he got in New York was, in Japan we say 1 tatami, 1 straw mat, 2 meters by 1 meter, something like that, with no windows. And his desk was his steel trunk, and his seat was his chudder, and he didn't complain. He just went on with his work, and whoever came, he would preach to him, and gradually people understood and started helping him in more and more ways. But the materialists, it's like now in Vrindavan, so many ads for luxury apartments. And a few years ago, I was going on the Parikrama, and I wasn't there that night, the first night in Mathura, and it had a huge rain, and everything got flooded, and all the devotees had to get out of their tents and find someplace else, and it was a big mess. And Bhadra Prabhu, who is the leader there, he said, I was thinking, what am I doing here? I should go back and just have a nice room in Vrindavan. I don't have no use to be out here like this. And then we walking through Mathura, and one old guy there, he just came up and he said, this is Tapovan. It's a place for tapasya, forest for tapasya. Then Bhadra said, no, yeah, right. That's Krishna's helping us, Because that's where Dhruva met Narada Muni there. He went a little further away to do his tapasya, but, Prahlad told Hiranyakasipu to go to Mathura, go to Vrindavan. It's for tapasya. Our tapasya is not so difficult, but Prabhupada said even that we have trouble. chanting 16 rounds every day, attending the class, getting up early, eating only prasadam, wearing tilak. It's not such severe tapasya like sitting underwater for hundreds of years. I don't know how they did that, but they did it. But he, just by seeing fish and Vishwamrita Muni, he just saw the ankle bell of the Menaka and heard the bell ring or something. He was underwater and he came out and lost everything through lust. And then that tapasya make hard-hearted, Then he swore he'd never become lusty again, and next time he became angry and he lost it all again after hundreds or thousands of years of severe tapasya. Finally he cooled down, did it again, he kept trying. Bhakti yoga is much more merciful. Whatever we're doing, we don't lose it unless we do like horrible offenses, purposeful guru druha, just turn against the guru and blaspheme. And otherwise, slipping and sliding, but whatever we've done stays with us, and Krishna always, tries to help us, as long as we keep trying. But this is we know the goal. Prabhupada very kindly given us the goal and given us the holy Dham, so that we can live here comfortably, so that we can not have to struggle for existence and perform bhakti yoga. We have the deities, we have the temples, we have so many opportunities, so many holy places we can visit, so much kata. Prabhupada's given us everything, and he's giving it to the whole world, just like we're sitting here, but anybody in the world can tune in and be in Mayapur by the mystic power of the internet. Because we need to hear again and again, we need books, because did anybody memorize the verse we chanted? Anybody can repeat it? No. But previous ages, they could hear it only once. We chanted 20 times or something, but can't remember. A few words here and there. But they could remember for life. Years later, recite, what they heard. So Kali Yuga, we need all this help, and Krishna's very kindly given it, and we just be careful to use all this for Krishna, for preaching, all that, we have everything on transportation and first class buses now, Volvo, and no good roads, but nice vehicles. But we can visit every place just by, tuning in. So Subari Muni was just showing us the futility of, trying to enjoy the material world, using all his mantras and his ability just to get so many wives. And he wasn't planning so many, only one, but suddenly 50, and they're all fighting with each other. Because he wasn't like Krishna, that Krishna, every wife thought he's only home with me. Nobody else can do that. And Narada Muni was even amazed, and he knows Krishna very well, but he was amazed to see that Krishna was in every palace doing different activities. It wasn't like a mirror image or something. Every place was different. That's Krishna. All the gopis thought he's only dancing with me. The cowherd boys that all think that. If you ever sat in Prabhupada's lectures, everybody thought he's talking right to me. Isn't it? You go out the door and everybody says, yeah, he was just talking right to me. He had that ability. But he could only live with one at a time, so then the other ones fight. All right? Krishna can be with everybody all at the same time, so we should seek Krishna. Krishna can accept unlimited service and reciprocate much more than anyone else. So better to, try to attract Krishna, make that the goal of life, to serve Krishna, not to have Krishna be the servant. Most religions, they want God to serve them. That's the prayers of most people. But we're learned better. We want to serve Krishna. That's a higher position. So any comments or questions? We lost a few. Anybody? Yes, sir. We have a microphone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, earlier on you were saying that do we believe all these things? And they seem to be, for our polluted consciousness, very far-fetched. So even in our trying to encourage others to take to the process of Krishna consciousness, should we be careful of what we divulge to them so that they are also can become confused and bewildered, or should we just give them very elementary understanding of Krishna consciousness in the beginning?
Yeah, well, the beginning is we just, prasadam, kirtan, especially. Prabhupada said, people that are so bewildered, they need to be purified, and we need to be purified. If we don't, engage regularly in kirtan and hearing and chanting and devotee association, then we'll get overwhelmed by the daily struggle for existence. Like Prahlada is praying to Lord Nrsingadev to take the material desires out from his heart so that he can be peaceful in the struggle for existence. So basically, new people, it's a joyful process, so we don't have to talk about tapasya and giving up things. And just take up chanting the holy name. Give them prasadam, or if they like it, teach them how to offer and cook, books, because all this is quite interesting, these stories. These demons and the demigods with all their powers, they're much more amazing than any of the superhero movies, that they keep inventing. But people believe in that because it's all, mechanical things. But real mystic powers are much more amazing than. So, but mainly kirtan, come to the holy dham. People like to come and just go around, and as long as there's a lot of kirtan, they go away with good memories. We don't want to overload anybody with, too much knowledge and too much, idea of tapasya or something. Is that all right? Not only new people, but old people also. We all need more kirtan. We all need more, not more prasadam, but we tend, because in the beginning we could go practically only on prasadam, but after a while we need only prasadam, but kirtan we can have more and more, or kata, Bhagavad Kata, we can have more and more. You're not going to overdose on that. That will keep us afloat, keep us above water. All right? Anyone else? Hare Krishna. So you learned a lot of history of the universe. When I was supposedly attending the university, I wanted to study history, but I wanted ancient history. And the oldest thing they knew about was Egypt, 5,000 years ago. But you couldn't take that course until you took European or American history and English history. Many course was horrible, just the same old boring stuff that you've been hearing all your life. So when we find Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we find the history of the entire universe and even previous universes and everything, it's quite a wonderful thing. And find all these really great personalities. And then the Supreme Personality, above all the other great personalities, that we hear the great ones are aiming towards Krishna. And giving up their opulence in the material world for Krishna and living very austerely, these ancient kings. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Mayapur Dham ki jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. Krishne Sadamo Pagate Dharma Gyanadibhi Saha Kalonashtaditamesha Puranarko Dunodita. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in this age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. And Prabhupada left, we observed a few days ago, but he left us the whole Bhagavatam for the whole world. So take it.